They realized all over the world where a dark man was being oppressed, he was being oppressed by the white man. Where the dark man was being exploited, he was being exploited by the white man. So they got together under this basis, that they had a common enemy. And when you and I here in Detroit and in Michigan and in America, who have been awakened today, look around us, we too realize here in America, we all have a common enemy. Whether he's in Georgia or Michigan, whether he's in California or New York, he's the same man. Blue eyes and blonde hair and pale skin. Same man.
Action News Network is an Aboriginal American media network. As such, we are protected under the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, or DRIP, Articles 8, 14, and 16. Action News Network is allowed to provide Aboriginal news and media content on non-Indigenous media platforms free of oppressive censorship. Any breach of this protection is a breach of international law.
Don't let the enemy know that you got a disagreement. And when you have a family squabble, you don't get out on the sidewalk. If you do, everybody calls you uncouth, unrefined, uncivilized, savage. If you don't make it at home, you settle it at home. You get in the closet, argue it out behind closed doors. And then when you come out on the street, you pose a common front, a united front. And this is what we need to do in the community.
WNBA. It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of the sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time. Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, you know, please go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends. He was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible. I just don't believe that. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, well, it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify, so it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
Gayle King, out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that? I swear to God, we the worst. We the fucking worst. We expect more from you, Gayle. Don't you hang out with Oprah? Why y'all attacking us? We your people. You ain't coming after fucking Harvey Weinstein asking them dumb-ass questions. I get sick of y'all. I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call him one? Funky dog-head bitch. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker. Respect the family and back off, bitch, before we come get you.
Gayle King, why the fuck would you ask some shit like that?
Purchase your tracks today.
I don't give a fuck who friend it is. I don't give a fuck she can Obama. Uh-oh. Why the fuck would you do something like that? Why would you do that to your people? You know what people going through, right? Why would you ask a fucking question like that? Trying to tarnish somebody's image. You do that to your own black people.
Purchase your tracks today.
You say it. finna fire your ass up. You sad, bro. People be talking, black people need to stop fucking trying to hurt black people for success. It's all the reason you ask that fucking shit for, to get your fucking numbers up. Give a fuck who you can to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly in the age of Aquarius. The veil's being lifted, and the black elites who have been in the shadows, keeping us at bay, are being exposed. Now, if you've been living under a rock, but this is something that's been affecting black folks and pop culture and the media, so I know everybody has heard of this and have seen the hit piece that Gayle King in her interview with Lisa Leslie, who, my God, has really looked stunning and did a damn good job at not only sticking up for Kobe, but sticking up for black men in general, especially those in the media who's being put through the wire, and did so eloquently that it's a lesson for all of us on how to deal with stuff in public. So Gayle King, or she's better known as Oprah's best friend, has for the past 10 years arisen from just making mediocre, somewhat weird appearances on Oprah shows and projects. She has landed herself at CBS with a prominent position as a quasi-journalist, thanks to her powerful friend, no less. But as of the last 2 years, have really been used as a vassal to do hit pieces on black male celebrities in this Me Too era warfare that we find ourselves in today. The Friends, as I call them, did a hit job on Michael Jackson, who posthumously have been basically vindicated as former accusers have admitted to lying on him for money. Many of them were kids whose white trash parents wanted to come up, but also, unfortunately, in the media, poor whites are not seen as being like any other, people struggling and looking for come ups and shit. No, they were taken at face value. Now, Gayle ripped into R. Kelly, who believes he deserved it. He's a scumbag, right? And I'm not going to sit here and, even with Tariq Nasheed, where I understand where he's coming from with the first them shit, I'm not going to do that with R. Kelly and shit. R. Kelly put himself out there. I always say, if you lie down with wolves, you're going to get bitten. If you try to act like these people, you're going to get caught. And you're going to be the one, when they get caught, you're going to be the one they're going to put out in the shadows. And that's what happened to R. Kelly, okay? He deserves it. But where are the Kevin Spacey, the Roger Ailes, Charlie Rose, the Harvey Weinstein pieces? Where are those? Where are your pieces on those guys? Where's your hit jobs on them? All right. Now, they trashed Cosby, who's been in Oprah's corner almost since day one. Oprah could expose the weak witnesses to protect Black America's most successful black man in media. They chose to kick him at his lowest point. But when it came to Kobe's body isn't even in the ground, and that's where I think the line was drawn. Seeing how tragic this was, how his daughter, was killed with him, and we keep forgetting about the other people that was in the, helicopter too. They're not as famous and impactful as Kobe Bryant, but those people deserve, deserve some acknowledgement too. But it's been 17 years, and they had 17 years to fucking question Kobe on all this shit. And I have barely ever heard anything come up since 2003 about Kobe. No matter what championships he won, nobody talked about his legacy being tarnished by that, but all of a sudden he's dead now, and now they want to drag him. Not to mention the woman who was accusing him was caught with multiple samples of semen inside of her in that one day. If anything, Kobe should be ashamed of himself for sleeping with such fucking nasty ass fucking women as that, and a cum dumpster as that bitch was. Well, Oprah and Gayle, they worked, because a lot of people have been asking, Gayle even has credentials and shit. Well, yes, Oprah and Gayle worked in local news in Baltimore in the late 70s and early 80s, right before Oprah became the media mogul that she is today. And she has never forgotten her best friend, Gayle, which is nice, and admirable in a way. You should always bring up our people and shit. But, Gayle, who's now in the 70s, right, has blown up only in the last decade. To stay relevant, she has to stoop to the lowest denominator, to the position of being the white media's go-to for hit pieces on black male legends. Okay? And there's just no getting around that. She has no merit and has to jump at their will to keep her job. Okay? And that's what she's doing. So they say jump, she says how high to get them goddamn butter biscuits, alright? Because without doing that shit, she wouldn't have anything going on for her. Okay? And my man, Snoop Dogg, as I remember him back in the day as Snoop Doggy Dogg, you know what I mean? Who I have a love-hate relationship with. Love Snoop's music and all this, but it's a lot of controversies going around Snoop. And I ain't just talking about the bullshit fake murder case that made his gangster credibility go up, or even the fact, that there's questionality about his Crip affiliation. But we ain't gonna go into all that shit right now, alright? When people do what they supposed to do, this shit, that's all I can ask from a motherfucker, is to do what you're supposed to do the right thing. I gotta give fucking credit, okay? So, he stood up for us, his people, right, by roasting Gayle King. Although, I appreciate his colorful language. I mean, I need to find an occasion to call somebody a funky dog-faced bitch, which is so fucking West Coast with me. Alright, shout out to Cali and AZ, by the way. Before I digress, I thought we should be less emotional because his words were taken out of context, text, right? Which left them open to ridicule. That would make, make his words out to be a violent threat, which it was not at all. Okay, but just it could really be easily taken out of context. In the hood, we know what Snoop was saying and shit, and even the people trying to take it out of context, they know what it was about and shit. But still, they left it out to open. And just like Malcolm says, we should fucking do this behind closed doors. Alright, brother Malcolm told us this, 20-something years before I was born. Alright, in the 60s, he said we should have been doing this shit. Alright, and it still holds true to this day. Shortly after Snoop's roasting, really G-checking of Gayle, here comes former National Security Advisor Susan Rice. Remember that bitch? Obama had her playing basketball with her. She was under Obama's administration. Okay, to give her black credibility, she played like high school basketball and shit. Obama always had these pickup games with her. This was their way of like bringing in these bougie, I call them the Greek brigades, or these people in these fucking fraternities and shit, you know what I'm saying? But to give her that credibility and shit, these black leaders and shit, that the basketball, they was playing basketball together and shit like that. Just so you think nothing of her, blackness or whatever. But that's Obama's girl from this administration. She basically came out and started threatening Snoop with a tweet saying that, if he doesn't back down, she got an army for him. So we're gonna read that tweet, put it up on here so you can see what it says, right? Okay, so here's that tweet from Susan Rice, Ambassador Rice. Remember, this is a former security councilman, right? This is despicable. Gayle King is one of the most principled and fair journalists alive. Really fucking debatable. Snoop back the fuck off, basically. You come for Gayle King, you come against the army, you will lose, and it won't be pretty. What army you got, and who's going to be on that army? And of course, here goes one of y'all beloved wars, Yasha Ali, I guess. You know what I'm saying? The video Snoop threatening Gayle King is disgusting, referring to Gayle. He says, funky doghead bitch. Respect the family, back off. What family more? Because I don't know which side of the family you on, because Susan Rice, Gayle King, that ain't my family. Because now those skinfolk is kinfolk. And what they doing to our people and shit, especially black men, it ain't something I can get down with. So what family you talking about? Alright, because I don't think we're talking about the same family. But just to expose again, you see who came to her defense right away. Some fucking black more, right? Some black more. Alright? Seeing very few people defending Gayle, I know that if it was a white anchor, she would have much more support. Nah, we did the white anchors as a dirt. And they kind of backed off with the South African people that always comes with bullshit. So she came with the fuckery. She got to deal with the consequences, alright? But there you go. You see who's defending her? What family they talking about, people? What army are they talking about? Are
Are they on our army or are they on a different type of army? It's the type of questions we need to start fucking answering. All right, let's get back to the whole lesson and shit.
So she basically reminded us how do nothing the Obama administration was for us as a people. Because Secretary Rice, let me ask you a question, homegirl. Where was that army for the murderer of Trayvon Martin? That punk bitch George Zimmerman. You ain't had no army for him, right? And again, I have questions about all of these killings and shit like that, but I'm just using it as a hypothetical. Where was that army for him? Or the supposed police shootings that was rampant during the Obama administration under your watch. Like Walter Scott and a few of them. Where was the smoke then? Okay? Where was the smoke then? Again, I have questions about that because we don't like to talk about how all these shootings kind of gone away with Trump. Racist Trump is in office. You would think if there was any time for these shootings to go on and shit like that and extermination of black people, it could be happening under Trump, right? But that's another fucking story and shit. Because we like to have things both ways as black people. But if we come, before I digress, where is the smoke for all of that shit, alright? But if we come and roast at your boule buddies like Gayle and Oprah, right? Your boule Greek friends, right? All y'all fraternity motherfuckers and shit. If we come after them, right? The gloves come off, huh? We haven't heard a word from you since Obama's been out of office, but Snoop really got in your ass, didn't he? But have you seen Secretary Rice's husband? Have you seen him? Enough said, right? So we know where her loyalty is. Even sadder, next you had pseudo professor Michael Eric Dyson. Remember the fat light-skinned nigga that used to do the equivalent of mumble rapping, intellectual bullshit on he used to be a staple on CNN like 10 or 15 years ago, dropping dated ass rap lines from NWA or Snoop Dogg while in political debates with white folks, always, doing the job talking and all this shit, right? Seemed cool when I was like 20 years old and shit, you know what I'm saying? But now just look like a corny fuckboy, really. But this simp ass nigga come out the woodworks, right? With some old, I loved Kobe, but Gayle is in the right to ask some questions and we need to support her. Now it's time for Niggasplaining 101 with your favorite broken buck Negro, Professor Michael Eric Dyson. Go ahead, Dyson. Niggasplain.
To begin with, I loved Kobe Bryant. Loved what he did with his life after that horrendous event. In Colorado. Many people, me included, believed Kobe Bryant when he say he did not rape that young lady. And yet, he apologized to her because he recognized that though he thought it was a moment of consent, she did not. And in confessing his own apology, he did not say that he raped her. He did not believe he did. He believed, therefore, in retrospect, that she did, and owned up to acknowledging the horrendous consequences of what happened. And so I understand people who are deeply and profoundly upset at that interview between Gayle King and Lisa Leslie. I understand that, and there's a legitimate platform to be had by questioning whether Miss King should have raised it in that fashion. But think about it this way. Without her having raised it, Lisa Leslie would not have had the opportunity to speak to it in a profoundly compelling and cogent fashion. Because Gayle King was not the only person asking that question. I didn't notice this venomous outrage by black celebrities and stars against the young white woman reporter from the Washington Post who didn't simply ask a question about Kobe Bryant's time in Colorado and the horrendous situation that occurred. She released an article, right, or reposted an article that talked about Kobe Bryant as actually having committed this particular crime, for which there was no legal finding, because after 14 months, the case was dismissed because the young woman refused to testify. We know Gayle King is a journalist, and Gayle King must be held accountable for the things she said. She has responded in a video talking about the way in which it was extricated from a broader interview, and that her own company may have deserved her by only presenting that. But Oprah Winfrey, as a journalist, must be held to account as well, as she is willing to admit. She changed her mind about participation in the Russell Simmons documentary. You want to honor Kobe Bryant? Love black women. Black women have stood up for black men far more than black men have stood up for black women.
I don't support Coons, and neither do people who watch my videos, alright? She has the right as a journalist to ask questions shit, but does that mean that the timing was right? And plus, nobody had questions, nobody had a problem with her asking the question. It was the way she tried to almost tell Lisa Leslie that because she's her friend, she wouldn't see Kobe. She was trying to make Kobe out to be more of a monster. When Lisa Leslie stood up and said, "I've never seen this behavior from him, even when we out partying," you know what I'm saying, where you let your guard down, you're drinking, maybe getting high, this, that, third, whatever, you know, just allegedly and shit, but at least drinking, right? Being in a jovial environment, a lot of fine women and shit. She never seen Kobe come off as like some kind of beast. So the comments was out of nature. Maybe he had a little bit of rough sex with that white bitch and shit like that, and you know, she tried to get him for his paper. That's where Kobe fucked up at. But for her to say that she wouldn't see that because of his friend, like she was blinded or she can't see that, even though Lisa Leslie says, "I got plenty of NBA friends that are like that," and Kobe isn't one of them. That's what people got mad. You're trying to bring down his legacy. And not only we going through that one case where that was dropped and shit because the bitch had multiple semen in her and was known to be doing this type of shit and was just a funky ass whore. You know what I'm saying? Forget that. Now she trying to make him seem like this was probably something he'd been doing and shit. And that's where she fucked up at. Alright? But back to Michael Eric Dyson, right? Nah, we don't support Coons, bro. And we don't support the media's destruction of our people, even if it is by our own people. That's why they feel comfortable doing this shit to this day. And I'm sorry to say it's because of y'all older fucking black fools, man, who allow people like this to step on you and over you to get to the top, just to turn back down and spit on you and us, okay? Because y'all had the mentality, as long as these people up there doing this, that, and third, it doesn't matter. Just like Bill Cosby's ass. We all supporting Bill Cosby now because we know the shit's fucked up. But Bill Cosby been sitting up there spitting down on black people and the black youth and shit for years. Criticizing us instead of giving fucking advice, instead of giving goddamn giving advice, giving answers and shit. Just sitting there criticizing and shit. And that's the whole with these old ass fucking black folks, and that's the fucking problem. Alright? The only reason we support Bill like that is because we all been there. And hopefully when Bill comes through this shit or whatever, hopefully he stay alive, don't die in jail and shit like that. Hopefully we see a different Bill Cosby, because he's talking like a real black man now and not like a rich black guy or rich white guy sitting up on top of a throne. And again, I ain't no motherfucking simp. You cross us, there's consequences, man. Just like on the motherfucking block, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want to do and say whatever the fuck you want to do. You see, the time is changing, man. Us 70s and 80s babies, we coming into middle age. It's prime time. And we're now in control. We are smarter and braver than you civil rights era simps. I'm sorry. If whites didn't want me to come in your store, then fuck your store then. I ain't gonna beg you to eat at the lunch counter. Fuck your nasty ass food. I'll start my own shit. And I'll return the settlement when you want to come in. To come into my shit, right? That's how you fucking fight fire. With fucking more fire. You don't fight fire with smoke. You fight fire with fire, or you fight fire with water and put the shit out. Either which way, you know, begging people to fucking, you know, help you and shit hasn't gotten us anywhere in the last 50 fucking years. Alright? So mix me with that kumbaya shit. That's the difference in being a Negro, nigga, you know, a black person, a motherfucking African American, right? Those are docile slave titles. As long as you keep carrying them goddamn docile slave titles, you're always gonna be in this fucking situation. Being a free Indian is much different. That's how our ancestors were. They were strong, didn't give a fuck, and scared people. Nobody's scared of a black man. I'm sorry. You can see that right now. So you might want to think about, you know, looking into your history and start finally calling yourself by your truthful titles. Calling yourself everything but you are. Be a children of God. We start acting like it. They called us Los Indios for a reason. Alright? Los Niños de Indios, right? Children of God. The Hebrews, right? The original Hebrew. Not no Jewish, right? Hebrew. Peace. I don't want to make this video too long. Action News Network, you know what it is.